Four stocks I own February 2018 edition. That's what we are discussing here today, guys. If you're new here, I'm Jeremy. This is a financial education channel, and this episode is going to be a crazy one. The reason being is this is the first episode in the history of the channel, which I started this series, I think it was somewhere around 2 years ago, maybe a little less than 2 years ago, right? This is the first episode ever that GoPro and Wynn Resorts have not been in. If you don't already know, I sold off my entire GoPro position, I don't know, it might be a month ago or so now, 3 weeks ago, a month ago. Wynn Resorts, I sold that off over the past few weeks before the whole Steve Wynn allegations came up and whatnot. So I sold out of those positions completely. So this is like, there's gonna be some new stocks in here you guys have never heard and whatnot. So this is very interesting, guys. Now, I also changed up the format for this month's edition. I just wanted to kind of do something different as far as the format goes. So basically, there's a lot of things here that I value a company very highly on, okay? So when I look into investment, and obviously there's way more things I could have put up here, but I didn't want to spend all day going through like little things like, do I understand the business? Like, obviously, those type of things, you know, are like a given for me to make an investment, okay? So the categories are good management, which I put that at the top because, you know, after I got so screwed over with the whole GoPro thing, with how bad that company was mismanaged, management is so key. Like, I look for executive management to be very highly competent. Now, profitable, is the company profitable at the moment? Do they have a good balance sheet? Do they have huge growth potential over the long term? Do they have a normal or low forward PE at the moment? Have they grown revenues and profits over the past few years, or is it inconsistent, or what's going on there? Is there anything with that business that could potentially take it down like overnight, where the business just overnight type thing? And is there any hidden super positives that maybe people don't see with that particular stock, okay? So let's get into this, guys. The fourth biggest investment of mine at the particular time is Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, GS, okay? A huge investment bank out of New York City, obviously international company. Good management team, absolutely. One of the best out there, in my opinion, probably the best in banking. Phenomenal management team, very well politically connected, phenomenal company. It's just so well run, it's unbelievable, really. Profitable, absolutely. This company brings in anywhere between a bad year, they might do $5 billion in profit. Great year, they probably do about $10 billion. Very, very profitable company, okay? Good balance sheet. I mean, for an investment bank, yeah, but based upon like, my general stance on what I look for good balance sheets, I would say it's like an okay one. We'll give it a no, just because it's a bank. Okay, banks are hard to judge on their balance statement or balance sheets, excuse me, because it's like how much of that debt is recourse to the company, how much of that debt is customers and whatnot. Sometimes the assets and liabilities are a little hard to understand there. So we'll give them a zero for the good balance sheet. Okay, huge growth potential long term. I don't think so with this one. I don't think there's anything with Goldman Sachs that's like, whoa, this is going to double their business over the next few years or something. I just don't see huge growth potential with that one long term. Normal or low forward PE? Absolutely. I think they have a forward PE right now of, I believe it's somewhere around 10, super low forward PE. Have they grown revenues and profits? This one's kind of inconsistent. They're doing it now, so I'll give them a check mark on that. But 2014 and 2015, they kind of made a dip there, and profits did go back up this past year, but revenues fell off a little bit because of some banking changes. But in the most recent quarters, they're actually doing pretty good. So I'll barely give them a check mark here. We barely gave them a zero on the good balance sheet, so we'll give them a check mark here. Anything that could take this company down overnight, anything that just could go on where it's just realistic thing that could happen, that could take it down overnight. Well, with anything banking related, you could always say, well, the economy could go south, but yeah, you could say that pretty much about any stock, okay? So as far as anything else really taking this company down, that's a realistic thing that wouldn't just come out of anywhere. Taking the stock down overnight, I don't really see it, okay? Now, are there any hidden super positives with this company? Is there anything that's kind of like behind the scenes that people don't know that's going to be such a catalyst for this company? In my opinion, no. There's really nothing. Everything that's known about Goldman Sachs is really known, okay? But we see we've got more check marks than zero with this one. It's just a consistent company. It's the best run investment bank in the world. Am I going to double my money or triple my money on this stock over the next few years? I highly doubt it. That would be crazy. That would be something I never foresaw. Just a consistent company for me to park some money and make some money over time, guys. In my opinion, the only banking name I've ever been involved with, the only one I'm interested in being involved with. Just such a well-run company, okay, guys? My third biggest investment is a company named eBay, okay? Good old eBay. is my third biggest investment at the particular time. And actually, as of recording this video, they actually just reported numbers and they were phenomenal. Stocks up big after hours, so I'm very happy about that. It is being my third biggest investment. All right, so eBay, what do we got going on here? Good management team? Absolutely. I've listened to a lot of conference calls of this management team. They're very competent. They've got this business back to growth ever since they split off from PayPal back in, I think it was 2015. They split off of PayPal. This company's better streamlined. They're just better run, in my opinion, now that they split off from PayPal. And PayPal's actually probably better run ever since they split off from eBay. It was probably one of the few situations where two companies break apart and they actually bring out the better of the two when they actually split apart. Very good management team, in my personal opinion. Profitable? Oh yeah, eBay has been a profitable business for a long time, and they are super profitable, guys. Very profitable company. Good balance sheet? Absolutely. Their cash and investments outweigh their debts. Good balance sheet. Not a great balance sheet, but a good balance sheet. Huge growth potential long term. Not in my opinion with this one. This is kind of like a Goldman Sachs, a company that can probably just, have revenues and profits go up 5 to 10% a year. Nothing wrong with that. I'm more than happy with that. But there's definitely nothing with this company that I just see, oh man, this stock's gonna just double and triple and things like that. Like, I just don't see there in it being any catalyst as far as that goes. Normal or low forward PE? Absolutely. This one does have a forward PE that's well under what the market's trading at. Have they grown revenues and profits? Absolutely, very consistently. They've just done a great job there. Anything that could take this business down overnight with eBay, I just don't see it happening. I don't see anything going on where it's just like, oh my gosh, this business is taken down overnight. It's just, I don't see it at all. And are there any like super positives that are hidden with this company that maybe other people don't see? In my opinion, with this one also, I don't think there's any like super positive things out there that just people don't understand and it's gonna make the company blow up or something like that. So we can see this one definitely has more check marks than Goldman Sachs did, and I love this investment. It's done very well in the short amount of time I've been in it. Let's get into stock number 2. Stock number 2 is a stock that I just started adding this week. Yes, you heard me right. I just started buying into the stock this week, and it's already climbed to my second biggest position. I am adding shares of this company very aggressively at the moment, much more aggressively than I typically do. Usually I kind of go into a company kind of slowly, and then, I hope it kind of drops, and then if it drops, I kind of buy on the dips and things like that. This one I'm going in quite aggressively because I'm afraid this one could go up big in the short term, and I just don't want to miss that opportunity. So I'm buying in now, and if it doesn't go up in the short term, I'm fine with that. I just want to get a position built, which is why I'm going aggressively in this one. And its ticker symbol is ELI. ELI, which is a company named Callaway Golf. It's a golf company, okay? The golf industry, in my opinion, has kind of bottomed over the last few years. They had some bankruptcies in the retail game. A lot of things happened. Golf is, in my opinion, coming back. We got Tiger Woods back on tour, playing healthy again. That's the biggest thing that could ever happen for golf. And we're going to talk about a super hidden positive with this company that not a lot of people really see or even know about, okay? So good management of this company? Absolutely. In my opinion, in their industry, they've got the best management team, in my personal opinion, from what I've looked at from the industry. They've done a fabulous job navigating this company in a time where the golf space has had a lot of trouble, guys. The golf space over the past few years has had a lot of trouble, and they've navigated this business very successfully and actually grown the business in a very negative environment, and that is a hard thing to do. So it's definitely a management team that's going to really capitalize when things keep becoming better and better, okay? Profitable? Absolutely. Even with all the things that went on, in 2014, 2015, with the game of golf being weak and whatnot, they still were able to navigate that time and become a profitable company. They've been profitable for several years now, okay? Good balance sheet? Absolutely. Very good balance sheet. Huge growth potential long term. Absolutely. They have a huge potential to grow long term in this business, okay? One reason is, like I talked about, with Tiger Woods being back, that's going to bring in so many more eyeballs on the game of golf. There's nothing that's even remotely close to Tiger Woods out there playing golf and playing healthy as far as what that does for ratings. When ratings in golf go up, that means players actually going out there and playing golf absolutely goes up as well. It's very different than basketball and football and sports like that where people just watch it on TV and they never do anything. Golf is very much a sport where when more people are watching, that means more people actually go out there and play and buy clubs and do all those type of things, okay? So this one has huge growth potential long term, and I'll share with you the other huge growth I'm going to share with you in just a minute here. Normal or low forward PE? Yeah, it's a normal PE. It's not a super low forward PE. It's just a normal one. Have they grown revenues and profits? Yes, they have. Take down anything overnight? Is there anything that could just take this company down overnight? I do not see it at all. And any hidden super positives? Oh yeah, we got one, okay? They have almost a 15% investment in a company named Topgolf, okay? Topgolf. Any of you guys that have ever been to a Topgolf before, you know how unbelievable those places are, right? There are these huge like driving ranges slash restaurants slash nightclubs almost like slash like lounge. Unbelievable. I was at one this past week doing research work, and it was a blast, guys. And it's something that's such a big thing for the company, okay? Having an ownership like that. And when they made this investment in the company, they made about a $50 million investment. There's talk that now that investment, if you know, it's been about 10 years or so since they've been invested in it, there's talk that that investment is now worth somewhere between $300 million and $400 million, and it is growing as Topgolf grows. Topgolf only has about 38 locations. They have a lot of room. They could probably fit at least 100 plus just in the United States. Never mind however many they can fit internationally and whatnot. I think they got one opening up here in Dubai pretty soon. Unbelievable growing brand, and because of that, and because of the way that management has done such a phenomenal job, and the way that this company is, in my opinion, a fair value, and you have Tiger Woods back playing healthy, which is the biggest thing possible for golf as far as getting ratings up and as far as getting people out there and playing and excited about golf again. Between all those things, this will become my biggest investment. This will become my biggest investment, and we've got them all checked off. So now let's get into my biggest investment currently. My biggest investment as of recording this video is a company named Cirrus Logic, ticker symbol Cruise. They're an audio component maker for smartphones and whatnot. Their main customer is Apple. They get about 80% or somewhere around there, 80% of their revenues and profits from Apple, okay? But they basically make audio components that go into your iPhones, and they are in some Samsung devices and whatnot. They're trying to win them over as a big customer. Hopefully that can happen. So Cirrus Logic, by the way, is my #1 investment at the moment, but I don't plan on keeping it there. Eli will probably be my biggest investment probably within the week or two, and it's not because I'm selling off Cruise shares or anything like that. It's just I plan on making my Eli investment bigger and bigger and funneling all new money kind of into Eli. So Cruise is a position I kind of want to be somewhere around my second to third biggest position, somewhere around there. So it just happens to be #1 right now by just what the account value says, okay? Good management team, unbelievable management team at Cirrus Logic, unbelievable. Jason Rode, when he took control of this company, they were a nothing company, a forgotten about semiconductor company. It was a $5 stock. Now it's a $50 stock, okay? And the way he's grown revenues and profits is like 10 times pretty much everything across the board. Never mind that, he got in with the most important customer he could have possibly gotten in with, Apple. So good management team, phenomenal, and they've been able to keep them happy and whatnot over there. Very, very good management team. In my opinion, probably the best in my opinion. Profitable, absolutely, very profitable company. Every single quarter they make big profits. It's just a very, very profitable company. Good balance sheet, amazing balance sheet, absolutely amazing balance sheet. And it's important because when you're in semiconductor space, sometimes you can get switched out for somebody else and your profits are hurt in the short term and things like that. In order to keep the business going long term, you need a good balance sheet in case that doomsday does come, okay? So very good balance sheet with the company. Huge growth potential long term. Yes, they do have huge growth potential long term with some voice biometrics chips and whatnot that could potentially, you know, double the company and things like that. If they can get those chips into Apple devices maybe 2 years from now or so, that provides a huge growth, long-term growth. Also, Samsung. That's a huge growth vector for the company. If they can get into the Samsungs and kick Qualcomm out of those audio components and get inside the main Notes and Galaxy devices, like that could be something also that, you know, has their revenues and profits going up 50, 100% if they can get inside those devices, okay? They are already a customer, Samsung's already a customer of them, but they're a very small customer at the moment. They're not in the main flagships that they need to be in yet. Normal or low forward PE? Yes, company has somewhere around a 10 forward PE on it right now, super low. Have they grown revenues and profits? Yes, if you look at their income statement, it is amazing over the last few years. Amazing income statement, just bottom line. Takedown overnight? Yes, there's absolutely the possible this stock could get nailed, which is why I don't want it to, even though it happens to just be at this moment the biggest investment I have because I've been, selling shares in companies. It's just a mess right now, my accounts. It's not going to be my biggest investment long term. The reason being is you always have that risk as of right now of 80% of their revenues and profits are coming from Apple, okay? So if Apple all of a sudden decided, Cirrus, you know what, you've done a great job for us, but we want to switch to somebody else, we don't want to use you anymore, obviously the company would be devastated almost overnight, okay? So yes, it could be hurt overnight in a big way, and so, it's always a risk out there with Cirrus Logic that, if their relationship with Apple ever tanked and they haven't already got, Samsung as a customer at that time, like that would be really ugly for the company. So that's a risk with the company, a big risk. And it's a real risk, okay? Not very realistic that it would happen, but absolutely it's a risk and it could happen, okay? Any hidden super positives? Yes. Like I talked about with the voice biometrics chip, according to Jason Rode on an investor presentation I listened to, he says that's something that has a potential to double the company, okay? They just taped out their first units as far as that goes. As far as realistic timeline, it's possible maybe the iPhone's 2 years from now, sometime around then, could possibly have those chips, okay? In the meantime, I want to be in the stock though, because it's already got a super low PE on it. They have real potential to grab Samsung as a customer, and I don't want to miss an opportunity where, let's say they grab Samsung as a customer over this next year, and I'm not in the stock, and then the stock goes to $70, $80. It's not a situation I really want to be in when it's a company I really love for the long term, especially with that voice biometrics chip, which is basically a chip where, let's say I have my iPhone over there and, I could say, hey Siri, read me my email. Right now, Siri won't allow that to happen basically because of security purposes. Otherwise, somebody could say that to my phone and it'll just start reading even if they're not me, right? That would be very bad. Or Siri, read my text messages. Like that would be bad. This voice biometrics chip, what it can do basically is authenticate that it's your voice saying that command and then go ahead and do that, okay? So think of it as, your thumbprint reader on an iPad or whatever device, right? Or the new Face ID and whatnot. Think about those type of things, but for your voice when you're not actually around your phone, guys. So it has huge potential long-term for the company. And so as you see, Cirrus Logic is a phenomenal company. There's always the risk that they're so dependent upon Apple right now. If that relationship ever soured, they would be hurt very badly. So that's why I don't want this to ever be my biggest investment ever again. I really want it to be kind of like number 2 or number 3 in the whole rankings there, guys. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this. 4 stocks I own, my 4 biggest investments at the moment. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Today's video is sponsored by my private stock market group. Make sure if you have not already gotten in there, you get in there. So third link down there in the description. We now have over 300 serious stock market investors in that group that absolutely love it. Anytime I buy shares or sell shares in a company, I post that same day on what I did and why I did it. Also, now on Mondays, I post videos in there kind of teaching you a lesson that you kind of need to learn about stocks. That's a new segment I've added for Mondays. On Fridays, we look into a ton of different stocks and I give you a ton of different things that are going on with stocks as far as earnings go, as far as companies I'm looking into, all that type of stuff. Also, as a member, you have access to a 12-part options course that you can view anytime you want and learn about options. Options is a very valuable thing for so many people that are in the stock market to learn about. Also, on top of all that, you're in a group with over 300 serious investors who are constantly commenting on stocks they are buying or selling and reasons behind that. So you definitely want to get in there if you are not already. Third link down there in the description, and I look forward to seeing you in there.